I was just going over some of my dad's report cards. He's passed away a number of years ago now, and I'm still going through some of my parents' things and came across some of these report cards dated back. And this one's 1932. They did a little bit of a different grading system. Some things have changed, some things haven't. My dad wasn't necessarily a fan of school, nor did he get great grades. Should we say early on, D's ruled? And yet my dad was a very clever person with a keen mind and went on into engineering and was called upon for a lot of large projects and everything. So he was a lifetime learner. He was always curious and wanting to learn, and that was a great asset of his. So even though his early grades didn't reflect that, he really enjoyed learning. One of his weak areas was spelling, and before there was Siri, there was someone named Marilyn, who was my mom. And every day, if not once, many times, it would be, Marilyn, how do you spell such and such? And then my mom would respond because words were her thing, spelling was her thing. So they were a great partnership on that. But they both had their own kind of smart. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about today, is that everyone has a smart. Then some have more than one smarts. We all operate in some smart. And today I'm going to share with you 8 identified smarts. And as I go through them, listen to see if they apply to you, or maybe to your spouse, maybe to your children, maybe your co-workers, your employees, those in our congregation. Just helps us to be more self-aware of our smarts. Maybe you've never even been told you're smart, and you are. You have a smart. And it's good to know that about yourself and celebrate that about yourself. That's a great lane that you can be in. And then you can celebrate other people and their smarts as we go along. It makes me sad because I know a lot of even adults, and certainly children too, but adults that have lived with this voice inside their head saying you're not smart, or you'll never do this, or you'll never amount to that, and those are not truths. God has created you with a smart, and it's for us to find out what they are and then to operate in them and to celebrate them. So I'm going to get into them this morning, and what I'm taking these from is a book by Kathy Koch, and she has a book called 8 Great Smarts, Discover and Nurture Your Child's Intelligences. So these were written more for parents, but anyone can learn from them, and you can go to her website. It's at 8, and that's the numerical 8, greatsmarts.com, 8greatsmarts.com. And she even has a little inventory you can do there to help you find and hone in on which smart you are. But I'm going to try to go through these quickly so I have the right amount of time here for the video. But I hope it'll be enough that will whet your appetite to learn more about your smart and those around you. Okay, first is I'm going to go over word smart. Word smart. Word smart people need time to read, and they need time to be heard when they want an audience. They get joy from using exactly the right words at the right time. They think in words, and they tend to talk and talk and talk. And they like to talk to think, and they talk during play. They will even talk to no one. And guess what? When they're excited, they'll talk more. Things they enjoy doing are reading or writing, telling stories, talking about their day. They can be really good encouragers, good listeners. Teachers usually have positive self-talk. They can struggle with discouragement, gossiping, and teasing, and sometimes they will try to impress others with their words. Next is logic smart. Now, logic smart people think with questions. Logic smart people, for them, things need to make sense. They usually show common sense at an early age. They are rooted in thinking, and they actually will admit to thinking just for the fun of it. These are the people who ask a lot of questions. When they think, they ask questions. When they're excited, they ask more questions. Others may misread them and think they are become weary of all these questions. They may think that this logic person is being smarty about it, but they're just being logic people. They can be good problem solvers. They tend to be curious, inventive, and counselors. However, they can also create problems, be argumentative, and they can test authority. Next smart is picture smart. Picture smart people think with pictures. When they're excited, they add to their pictures. They need freedom to do things like doodle and draw, and they have a need for their creativity to be respected. They get joy from being lost in the process of creating. Visualizing and observing are their powers. They can vividly visualize things. Some have the capacity to have this visualization in 3D or in movies. I mean, and they're like right there, it's happening. Some of them can have more than one of these picture thoughts going on at the same time. Sometimes it can get, this type of processing can make it difficult to do academics. And in that case, when there's that interference, if you have someone in your family that's having difficulty that way, let me know. I have some resources for you on that. But these picture smart people tend to be good at helping to decorate, making displays, designing things. They see and need and want and express things with wonderful aesthetics. They can also become distracted by what is seen, and they may be people that will tend to judge books by their covers too. Next smart is music people. Music people tend to think with rhythms and melodies. When they get excited, they make music. They tend to be able to express themselves musically. They get great joy from being lost in the music and accomplishing or exceeding musical goals. Sounds and music are their powers. They may find rhythms and melodies in the world around them. We might just hear city noises or bird noises, but to them it's more than that. They're hearing the rhythms and the tones of it. Now, for some children, hearing the sound may not be quite enough. They may also have to make the sound, or sometimes we call it noise. So be aware if you have what you think is an exceptionally noisy child or maybe a noisy adult. Remember, it could be that they have a need to make this, in their minds, music. Okay. Remember, if they get excited, they have to make this noise or make this music. It's music to their ears. Music people are often good at enjoying music from a wide variety of genres, cultures. They enjoy making music. They may use music to calm themselves or to express their feelings. They can also tend toward idolizing musicians and music and maybe making more noise. And sometimes they might be attracted to unhealthy music venues. Next is body smart people. Body smart. Body smart people think with movement and touch. When they get excited, they move and touch more. They need the freedom to move and touch. And sometimes they need lots of space for their productivity. So if this is not the person you want to box in, if this is how they're thinking and processing, they need room for that. It's good to give them that room. They get joy from accomplishing and surpassing their physical goal. And then when everything just comes together perfectly. Motion is their power. For body smart children and some adults, moving is like breathing. They must do this. So if you need them to think and listen and be productive, you do not want them to say, sit down and be still. That will not help a body smart person. So body smart people tend to be good at activities that require coordinated physicality. And they will excel in these areas. Also a caution for them is that they might resort, these might be, especially with the children, you might see them resorting to the punching or wrestling and moving too much for a situation. So they need to find healthy ways to do the movements. Okay. Next is nature smart. Nature smart people think with patterns. They see patterns. And when they are excited, they want to be and actually need to be outside. They love to be out in the nature. They need their love and appreciation for nature to be respected, and they need to be outside often. They get joy from personally participating with nature. Any way that they can be out in nature and they might have specialties in nature, but they have to be out in nature. Their superpower or their power is observing patterns, and that's part you'll notice. It's not just being out there, but they'll be able to tell you details and patterns about the particulars of nature that they enjoy. They use their eyes a lot, so a lot of times people who are nature smart will also have a picture smart in them as well. They tend to be good at caring for the environment, caring for animals, caring for plants. They can, however, become distracted by nature and carry it into a point where the thing becomes it's something like that piece of nature or an environmental issue. Now next is people smart people. People smart. People smart people think with people. And when they're excited, they think with more people. They need people to listen to them, to interact with them, and react to their ideas. They get joy from sharing what they know and from understanding other people. Their thinking is tied into connecting with other people. People smart people often have many friends, are motivating, they're counselors, they like to build consensus. Smart people can also tend to get into trouble if they're ignored, and sometimes will resort into manipulation too. Now lastly, we have self-smart people. This isn't anything about selfish. These are just people who are self-smart. Self-smart people think with reflection deeply inside of themselves, and they relate their learning to their lives. When they are excited, they want to spend more time by themselves thinking more. That's them excited. They need to have quiet and privacy and space. They get joy from knowing what they know. Their power is reflection and knowing what comes from it. Self-smart people want to understand things in depth. They may take time to give you an answer. They're thinking this through. They want to consider a lot of different things before they give you an answer. And they want to make sure that the answer they give is a right answer. So give them that time and space to do that. Don't think of them as slow thinkers. They're just coming slowly to the answer they will give you. All right. And self-smart people know that what they believe and why. These are people usually that stand up well for their beliefs. They have thought through them well. They tend to be quiet, independent workers and thinkers. Self-smart people know themselves well. They tend to know their strengths and weaknesses. They'll often produce original and unique work. They're goal setters, self-disciplined. They're people that tend to be happy on their own, and they know what they know. They also can tend to be opinionated, difficult to teach, self-centered, and not very good at sharing. So those are all the 8 great smarts. I went through them as quickly as I could, but I hope there was enough there that would pique your interest to check it out. Again, at 8, using the number 8, greatsmarts.com. And I just want you all to know that God created each and every one of us smart. And it's to be self-aware of that and to celebrate that and to operate in that, and it's going to help you just do life all that much better. And then to be aware of those in your life and what their smarts are. It's just a great opportunity and help us to work together even better as a body. So I hope you'll enjoy investigating what your smart is, and I would love to hear what your smart is. So if you go to our website and then look, there's a card called Health Ministries. You'll see there how you can contact me. The link is there. Send me and let me know what your smart is, or what smarts are in your family, or how you had a discussion maybe at the family dinner table, how that went about how God made you smart and how you've celebrated that as a person or as a family unit. But until next time, I'm wishing you good health. Bye-bye.